My 35F boyfriend 45M has given me an ultimatum. It's either him or my best friend. Throwaway account. My 35F boyfriend 45M has given me an ultimatum. It's either him or my best friend 30F. As briefly as possible, the background is that we all met at our neighborhood bar sitting outside and socially distancing during pandemic. Boyfriend and I have been together for over 2 years. About 6 months ago best friend and I were out at a bar when a guy was pestering us who has been known to among other things angrily brandish a bat at the bar, so I texted my boyfriend for help. He came to meet us, scared off the weirdo, but then proceeded to give us a condescending voice-raised lecture about how to be safe at bars as women. We were furious. He did eventually apologize, but while I forgave him she did not. She has maintained that she just doesn't want to be at parties he's at etc., doesn't want to talk to him. I think they're both in the wrong, him for raising his voice and lecturing, her for not accepting his apology, and have maintained that they should leave me out of it. The present issue. After trivia night this week, boyfriend met up with my trivia team and we were invited to an after party. I said we shouldn't go given the ongoing awkwardness with best friend. He got, in his words, supremely angry at me, and started telling me that when I have my birthday he won't invite best friend because of this etc. We get home to my place and he continues ranting, and then grabs his stuff and leaves. He then sends me paragraphs and paragraphs of texts about how he's tired of this bullshit, and he has hit his limit with my childishness. He left it at that it's either her or him, and I have to choose. He wants me to show his screenshots to my therapist and then we can talk, but honestly he is sounding so crazy on these rants. What does he expect she will think? Is he really throwing 2 years away over suddenly deciding he doesn't like that my friend hasn't forgiven him? This wasn't even an issue. He'd previously said he didn't care and I didn't have to choose, and then suddenly this week he cares and he's dumping me over it? Your best friend is not in the wrong for not forgiving someone just because they eventually apologized for being shitty. Just because someone apologizes does not mean a person has to accept it. You have given repeated instances of your boyfriend being a jackass. Why do you want to stay with someone who treats you like this? It sounds as if a lot of your life is affected by your friend's unwillingness to forgive. You couldn't have her at a birthday party. You have to skip social events to avoid awkwardness. He may sound unhinged but he's got a point. I'd wish him well. I would do as he asked. Show the texts and explain the circumstances to your therapist. What would it hurt? Either the therapist confirms he's crazy and you should leave or they give you another perspective that validates his feelings. Either way you'd feel better about whatever choice you make. So choose who you want in your life. My 37 female husband, 39 male, is cheating, but won't admit it, even though I met his girlfriend. I don't use Reddit, but I honestly have no idea what to do here and I figured I might as well ask. Reposted with a loud username. 2 days ago, I was at home on my day off watching TV on the couch when someone knocked on the door. I opened it and a young woman, looked early 20s, was standing outside. I asked what she wanted and she, very confidently, said she was my husband's girlfriend, and that she was here to see him, saying, I didn't know he had a maid. I told her that I was not his maid but his wife, but she didn't believe me and argued with me that he was single before I got so angry that I just slammed the door in her face. I called my husband immediately to tell him that his girlfriend had shown up at our house and that he was now not allowed at home anymore. But he kept insisting that he didn't have a girlfriend, that he wasn't cheating, etc. After his workday ended he showed up at home to try to talk to me, but I just ignored him. He keeps trying to convince me that he has no girlfriend, despite the fact that I literally met her and talked to her. He won't admit anything. I am scared to tell my family because I don't want them to take his side and think I am some crazy wife making up stories to defame him, since he insists he's innocent no matter what. How can I explain the situation to my family without the risk of sounding like I am making it all up? Too long did not read. My husband's girlfriend shows up at our house. He refuses to admit that he even has a girlfriend. I don't know how to tell my family in a way that they'll believe me. So there are 2 possibilities. 1. He's a cheating bastard. If she can produce a photo of them together, then you have proof. 2. She's a batshit crazy woman who is stalking him or he rejected her. Now she's out for ruining his life. I've seen both of these occur. Usually number 1 more than 2. But it's not outside the realm of possibility. In the 70s my court judge grandpa had a stalker who was convinced he was leaving my nana for her. She even delivered chocolates directly to her and said they were for my grandpa. My nana then ate those chocolates as a power move. There was no validity to this woman's delusion. I'm not saying that's what's going on here. However, someone can call themselves whatever they want, but that doesn't make it true. I really hope you can get the truthful answers. Next time someone shows up at your house and thinks you're the maid, pretend to be the maid. Invite her in, pour her a drink, and send your husband a text to come home immediately, there's an emergency. See what happens when he gets home. If this isn't a troll post, then you need to do a lot more investigating rather than just believing some chick that shows up and ays this. It could be true, but damn if someone had told me this. First thing I want from them is evidence and a name, and you did none of this and just slammed the door on her. Eesh. I don't know, this all seems to be a bit unbelievable. I'm not really buying the story as presented.